Did you know that your body has a fairly consistent time of day when you're likely the most focused and able to tackle hard work? Did you also know that it is not the same time of day for everyone? And learning about your personal power time may be the key to getting your important and challenging work done more easily. In this video, we're going to dive into discovering your personal power time so you can leverage it to get your hardest work done consistently. All of this is drawn from the energy element of the Freedom Evolution, where we help you to not just identify your power time, but use it to craft your most productive and effective work day. Now, most people, when they look at their calendar, will schedule a bunch of appointments scattered throughout the day or week, and then try to figure out how to fit the rest of their work in around those existing commitments. This means that you're often trying to do your important creative work at times of day when your brain is just dragging. Or your creative work may be getting chopped into little chunks so you never really get into a flow. Or maybe you're just never getting to that work at all because your appointments and meetings swallow up all of your available energy. All of these can happen if you haven't yet learned to identify and protect your power time. So let's dive in and show you exactly how to do that. First, your personal power time is directly related to your chronotype. I know, fancy schmancy word, but the research behind chronotypes was developed by a sleep researcher named Dr. Michael Breus, who wrote an awesome book called The Power of When. If you find this stuff fascinating, go dive into that book because it's amazing and goes so much further than what I'm sharing here. Basically, Dr. Breus's research shows that rather than just belonging to two categories, early birds and night owls, humans actually fall into 4 distinct chronotypes. And each of those chronotypes has patterns and rhythms that are naturally comfortable and highly functional for them throughout any given day based on their personal circadian rhythm. Probably that's a term you've heard before because your circadian rhythm drives when you wake up and when you go to sleep each day. Now, as digital entrepreneurs who have the freedom to craft our days however we want, we do ourselves a huge favor if we plan our days to work with our natural biorhythms, our chronotypes, rather than trying to fight against it. So to learn how to do that, let's dive in and give you an overview of the 4 chronotypes to see if you can recognize yours. Dr. Breus, recognizing that humans are mammals, not birds, named the 4 chronotypes after mammal species with similar behavior patterns to each of the human chronotypes. The first group are the lions. These folks are most focused and effective early in the day, fairly quickly after waking up. If you're someone who can wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and almost immediately dive into creative work, then you may be a lion. Typically, lions' best time of day is around 7 to 9 a.m. Now, take all of these times that I'm sharing with a bit of flexibility. Yours might be 8 to 10, that's fine. The point is that your mind and your energy feel freshest and most engaged very early, fairly soon after you wake up, because you're just raring to go. According to Dr. Breus's research, lions make up about 15 to 20% of the human population. The second group is the most prevalent. These are the bears. Bears need a bit more runway to their morning. That first couple of hours after waking up tend to be a bit groggy, but somewhere around 10 a.m., bears are in prime mode, awake, focused, ready for a challenge. So typically a bear's power time, their best window for important work is roughly 10 a.m. to noon. Now, if you're a bear, good news. Bears make up about 50% of the human population. And a lot of mainstream culture and expectations are designed with your needs in mind. simply because bears are the majority. The third group are the wolves. Now, for the wolves, the morning's kind of a bust. Really, you're likely dragging yourself through much of the start of the day. But typically, your mind and energy start picking up in the early afternoon after lunchtime. For wolves, their power time is usually 2 to 4 p.m., which is when most lions and bears are kind of crapping out. But you, my wolfy friend, are just starting to pick up steam. You may also wake up a little later, maybe around 8 to 10 a.m., and go to bed a little later, so your whole day may be a bit shifted from the mainstream norm. Wolves make up about 15 to 20% of the human population. The final group are the dolphins. These folks tend to be the late night insomniacs. You would be much happier staying up super late and likely not getting up until afternoon. Left entirely to your own devices, you would sleep the morning away entirely, while those lions and bears are raring to go. But somewhere around 4 to 6 p.m., or possibly even a little bit later, you're finally gathering steam and ready to get some solid work done. Your mind and energy are just getting started when the bulk of your colleagues and coworkers, or anyone around you, are pretty much done and ready to wrap for the day. It's the dolphins and, to a lesser extent, the wolves that often feel most out of step with mainstream expectations about what a standard workday should look like, because you'd much rather be working that night shift and sleep in the morning away. Dolphins make up about 10% of the human population, so they are the greatest outliers, and it often feels that way. So, did you recognize yourself in any of those patterns? Personally, I'm a bear, and I know that for sure because my first few hours after waking up are a slog. But by 10:30 in the morning, I am fully alert, ready to go. The afternoons, however, are a little bit more of a drag. I'm awake, but it is definitely not the time for heavy creative mental work. And what I've seen for sure is that the productivity strategies that are awesome for lions do not work as well for bears, and they can be positively catastrophic for wolves and dolphins. That's why it's so important to craft your days and your systems to match your natural rhythms. From what you've learned here, you've likely been able to guess your chronotype. And knowing that, the one clear next step for you, protect that time. Don't schedule meetings or fill it with minor meaningless email tasks, phone calls, errands. Do your most important, most mentally taxing, most creative work when your brain is primed for it, because it will be dramatically easier and you'll be able to get more done quicker. In the Freedom Evolution, we take these concepts, teaching you how to choose your tasks, plan your work, to leverage your power time even more effectively, and how to craft your daily and weekly rhythm to make sure that you're taking care of, even expanding your personal energy capacity, all so that you can make getting your work done easier in less time by working with your body's natural patterns rather than forcing or fighting against them. If that's got you curious and intrigued, then you are ready to learn more about how to manage and expand your energy to improve your productivity. Then you absolutely want to head on over to chosencourse.com/I want more and dive in to the Road to Inspired Action video training series. That's where you'll discover all 5 elements you need to stop getting stuck in the exhausted entrepreneur trap and finally step into your future as the visionary CEO that you were always meant to become. Ready for the next level, Freedom Lover? Let's get started.